In this video, I'm going to go through a song called Missing the Days to show how to use the different techniques like contrast and familiar patterns and how these techniques really help the mix. Now, there's still some development to happen on this song, so it's in a bit of a pre-mix stage, but I thought that it was a really great stage to demonstrate the various techniques that you've read about. Well, song engineering, it's similar to arranging in music, but in this instance, we're not just determining where the sounds will be placed or when they will play, but we're actually in some instances changing the actual tonal quality of the sound and then placing it in a completely different space. And we do this using various tools available to us, such as the mute and faders and pan controls, effects, and other processes. Before we listen to the song as a whole, I'm going to just go through some of what I've done. So let's have a look at the session setup. We're busy working to a set time signature as well as a set tempo. So I'm going to make sure that my grid is actually switched on just in case I need to copy and paste some parts. I've gone through the song and I've marked each section, and it helps me to see clearly where I am in the mix. You'll notice that some areas are labeled as links. If I zoom out a bit, you'll see that there's some areas that have been labeled as links. What I've done is I've used little bits and elements of the instruments in the song to literally link the different sections together. So when it goes from a chorus to a verse or a verse to a chorus, for example, it's just the classic use of establishing the familiar and then introducing something new. And remember that we create the familiar by using patterns. Now, throughout this song, there are a lot of recognizable patterns. In fact, the guitar part, if we have a look at it, is the same for the intro, the verses, and then the ending, but it changes for the chorus. And the guitars in the intro, the verse, and the end, well, I've given it some really nice treatment. I've used pedal board and amps, some EQ, and then a bit of a secret sauce, which we'll have a listen to in a moment. Then the guitar for the chorus changes into a really nice rhythmic pattern. But what I've done on this one, I've actually doubled it. And on the first guitar, I've used the Haas effect. Now, if you're not familiar with the Haas effect, then please go to the folder in the song engineering course labeled the Haas effect, and there you'll find a video and explanation of the Haas effect, or you can go and read about it on raponline.net. There's a nice blog and a video there too. So let's have a quick listen to this guitar part. First, the normal guitar part without the Haas effect. And then I will add in the Haas effect. Here we go. All right, and let's listen to that now with the doubled part. Fantastic. And let's go back to the guitar parts at the intro and verse and ending sections. And I'm going to quickly bypass all of the effects chain that we have there. Here's the original. And it's a good sounding guitar, but now listen. And as I mentioned earlier, you can hear how that delay is the secret sauce. It's the secret ingredient in that particular chain that really brings that guitar to life. Now, going back to patterns, let's have a look at the bass. You can see that the bass is a familiar pattern all the way through. It's actually a really nice warm synth bass. And then the piano. What I did with the piano is I layered the piano with an electric piano sound. So I just wanted to add some depth and warmth to make that part sound really good. So let's have a listen to the original piano, and then I'll put in the electric piano with it. All right, and here's that exact same part, just now with that big, wet, juicy electric piano. Here we go. Nice. If we go and have a listen to the pad part in this song, you'll notice that it's really quite nice and dense and thick. So I've chosen only to use it in a very short section of one of the choruses. Let's have a listen. And there's another really, really great synth. It's called Northern Winds. And again, it's only appearing at certain sections of the song. And one of the places to take note of is right at the end. I've added it to that electric guitar part. That electric guitar part there is identical to the electric guitar in the intro. So using the synth under it just basically gives the listener a little something different to close out with in order to break up that familiar pattern. Right, let's have a look at the vocals. Now, the lead vocals, I created them to be nice and intimate in all the verse sections. And then you'll see that I doubled the vocals in the chorus section. And on that doubled vocal, I just added a lot of different effects, a nice delay, some reverb, and a bit of compression and EQ and a doubler just to chorus it up a little bit. I really wanted to give a nice wide vocal feel and a sense of big. Let's just have a listen to that particular part. I'm going to add in the pianos as well. Here we go.
And when I made a plan, you always felt boring. And I don't know why I'm still in love, yeah. I'm missing the days when we're like the same.
So you can hear in the chorus part how those vocals really open up and get nice and wide. Then probably my favorite part in the song is the part of the chorus just after verse 3. I contrasted the choruses. I like the way that instead of jumping from the verse right back into the full push of the chorus, that the chorus is actually stripped back all the way to just the vocal effects, bass, and piano, just the raw ingredients of the track. And then you can really build into the repeat chorus again and take your listener on a bit of an emotional journey. For the final chorus at bar 43, I basically just repeated a part of the lyric. Just to add in some extra push over the familiar. Otherwise, it sounded a little bit too silent, a bit too quiet there. The song just felt like it needed some sort of lyric at that point. And if we have a look at the actual duration of the song, we go right to the end, you'll see that the song's duration is quite short. This can easily be adjusted by changing the length of the intro or the length of the links between each section, or you could even add in a nice section for a solo part. It really just depends on what you want the track to do. Great. Let's have a listen to the song and all of these song engineering techniques working together. Here we go.
Still want me. They say I need company. I don't want another one here. What you do, I can't compare it.
So I can now rest the track a couple of days and come back with fresh ears to refine and eventually mix out. As long as I have good structure, have chosen the effects and the sounds that work for the song, a nice rest and then fresh ears, and that is the real secret to a great song production session. I'll catch you again next time.